right, welcome back to Johnny Radio. I'm your host, Matt Johnston, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm here with my co-host, Brad Wakai, who is situated in the shoebox up in New York. Brad, what's up, man?
Nothing much. I am in the shoebox for sure, getting ready to get bunkered in for a winter. It's starting to change here, that weather.
Brad, over or under $500 you lost on the weekend sports betting?
Definitely under.
Okay.
But it was not a good day on Sunday. Good thing we built up some equity throughout the week.
Yeah, it was not a good day for your boy either. So we're going to move on from that because we need to look forward to next weekend and rebound. Before we introduce today's guest, let's take care of a few programming notes. Follow the podcast at Johnny Radio Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Visit the Naked Take Johnny Radio YouTube channel where you can see our beautiful faces. That's me, Brad. And watch full episodes, and we're going to include Allie in that too. You can also search Johnny Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music, and listen to us on there. If you missed our last few episodes, I recommend you go back and check those out. We had each member of the Rad Dudecast podcast. That's Anthony DeVito, Greg Stone, and Brendan Eyre. Come on the podcast to talk about their stand-up comedy careers. Performing on late night shows such as Seth Meyers and Stephen Colbert. And they were awesome interviews. So go back and listen to those if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest, Allie Leigeb, professional golfer. Allie, what is up?
Hi.
Hello.
Congrats on the pronunciation, by the way, because nobody ever gets it right.
I was like, I'm either gonna really butcher it or I think I got it. So I'm glad I got it right.
I'm glad you did.
Don't feel bad because I've been called literally everything in the book, so I'm over it at this point.
I am really glad you got that right, Brad, because I was going to go with the exact opposite and say Leigeb because
that's another top one. That's okay.
I Googled how to pronounce your last name, and that's what the internet said. But as we know, the internet isn't always right. So.
I thought it never lied. That's
the meaning. Well, my name is German, so the meaning.
I did learn that. So.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. The meaning of my last name is literally like bartender or giver of the wine in German. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. But people just butcher it all the time, so don't feel bad.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. So again, thank you for coming on and taking the time. I see you got a dog there in the background.
I do. I'm currently dog sitting, and my roommates and I have 3 dogs in our house, so there's 4 dogs at the moment.
Oh, wow.
That's Duke back there. He's a sweetie.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Yeah, never a dull moment, I'm sure.
No, not in my life at least, but
all right. So thanks again for coming on. Before we get into the heart of the conversation here, which is obviously golf, answer this for me, Allie. What's it like living in a state that doesn't practice daylight savings time? Because I completely messed up the entire time zone thing. Again, I went to the internet and I was like, okay, I think Arizona's in the Pacific time zone. I'm like, okay, it's not, it's in Mountain. But then it said it's 2 hours back from Houston, which is where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got more confused. And then I remembered that you guys don't spring ahead.
We don't. And honestly, no time change whatsoever, which is very nice because then you never have to worry about changing your clocks or losing an hour of sleep or worrying about missing work or whatever else there is. So I don't mind it at all. It's one of the many great things about living in Arizona. So
yeah, I've lived here in Texas for 2 years now, and I'm finally starting to get used to the time zone difference.
I saw the Houston.
Oh, Bucky's awesome.
Wow.
I went there this summer. I passed through this summer, so I went to Bucky's for the first time. I loved it. I can't wait to go back. But yeah.
Brad, do you know anything about Bucky's?
I've heard of it before. It's like one of those things where it's like you hear about in Texas, but I've never been to Bucky's, so that's gonna be on my list too.
Oh, okay, put it on the list for sure.
the nicest gas station / rest stop you'll ever go to in your life. They have individual stalls in the bathrooms that are always clean and nice. It's just a whole experience. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. So if you're ever in Texas, check it out. All right, let's get into it. So let's just start off by Allie. Can you just walk us through your golf career, just from playing at the collegiate level at Northern Kentucky and then becoming professional and where you're at sort of now?
Sure, yeah. So starting from, I guess, the very beginning, I got into golf from my dad and grandparents. Like, I would just grow up playing with them all the time, which was great. And I never really, started to focus on it until high school. And I was like, oh, I could get, a college scholarship from this. And at the time I was playing like soccer, basketball, other sports. And so I was pretty well-rounded, but golf definitely wasn't my favorite even. So I started working harder at it, and I got a full ride to Northern Kentucky University, which is an awesome D1 school located in basically Cincinnati on the Kentucky side of the river. So
I was going to ask. I had no idea where Northern Kentucky was.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay. I think we just turned D1 maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I could be a little bit off, but it's an up and coming like Division I school. It's really great. The stuff they're doing there is growing every year. But Coach Allie Leigeb recruited me there, and my grandpa actually taught there once or twice a week part-time, and I really didn't know anything about Northern Kentucky, but again, a full ride was pretty hard to turn down. So I went there for 4 years, had a great experience, got to travel all over the country. I think I wrapped up my senior year. We got second in the conference, and I got third individual, so that was a pretty sweet note to end on. And so at that point, I was kind of hungry for more, and well, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever if I took kind of like a gap year and tried to play pro a little bit. And so my dad was great in helping me look up all these different mini tours, which really there was only 2 big ones for ladies at the time. And it was either between Florida and Arizona. And I just remember going out to Arizona in college. Like, we had a tournament out there, and I was like, I think I want to go to Arizona. Didn't know anybody, had one group of family friends out here. They helped me get settled in and everything. Packed in my bags and just drove out to Arizona. My mom came out with me and tried it out. Tried my first event on the Cactus Tour, fall 2017. And I just fell in love with it, and I've been out here ever since. So currently, let's see, there's a little gap there. That was almost 2 years ago. Wow. Or over 2 years ago. So throughout that time, I've been playing on the Cactus Tour and everything, which has been a great experience. It's a mini tour out here based in Arizona, but they have events in Texas and California as well every so often. But the cool thing about the Cactus Tour, it's located right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If you're here, living here, there's very little travel, so it's like a little local tour. The other great thing about living here is all the golf connections in general. There's a golf course every block. Personally, I play ping clubs, and so their headquarters are here as well. So that's been kind of really nice for me. And then, so I've been doing that, and it's funny the different kind of things you can get into with golf out here in general, not just playing professionally. I got hooked up with working for this pro-am company called Backswing Golf Events, and it's a bunch of female professional golfers, and we go out to all these big, corporate outings, all these scrambles, that companies will put on and stuff like that. And when we're at these events, we'll go out there. We're usually in a par 3 or hitting a long drive or playing with a group, something along those lines. And we're raising money for a local charity that's involved with the business or company that's putting the scramble on. So we get paid to do that, and we get paid to help money get raised for charity, which is like win-win-win, and you get a little practice in as well. So, and it's good networking. So I threw that into the mix as well within the last 2 years, and then just been getting into a bunch of other stuff as well. This year, 2020, I'm sure was kind of a wash for everybody, not just for golfers. So, I mean, I'm just kind of dipping my toes right in the water for a bunch of other sports-related, golf-related activities as well. So that's where I'm at right now. But, I mean, I wouldn't change like any, even going to Florida over Arizona. I love Arizona. I love the people I met here. I love the golf here. So it's all been great so far.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to beat Arizona. And I mean, look, if you see for the people watching behind you, I mean, that's one of the reasons why, it's just gonna be so nice. Like, it's getting cold. I'm here in Brooklyn, and I'm putting away all my summer clothes, and I'm just like, come on,
My
I'm not ready for that yet.
I'm low-key kind of jealous because it's still like 100 degrees right now, and I'm kind of getting to that point where like, okay, I'd like for it to cool down a little bit. But
Right.
I mean, I really can't complain come December, January, February, it's just perfect.
Exactly.
So I'll
Right.
suck it up for a little longer.
Yeah, for a little longer. So you're from Lexington, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So what's been like the culture shock? I mean, if there is any, but I mean, just going from Kentucky, big blue nation, and then out to Arizona, kind of trying to make it professionally golfing.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll just say, like I said before, the opportunities in Kentucky for female professional golfers versus Arizona or even Florida, there's just so many more people you can get connected with who can help you out here. So many more. Everyone's just obsessed with golf out here too. Not like bashing on Lexington, because I know plenty of people, including myself, who are from Lexington who are obsessed with golf. Trust me. But it's just, I think this opportunity in general for golf. I love going back to Lexington. I love playing the courses there and everything. And actually, I do go back every summer for 2 months when it's 120 degrees out here. So I'll go back, and I have stuff I do back there. I have tournaments I play back east and everything. So it works out. I get to still be a part of Kentucky and hang out there with family and everything. And then also live in Arizona for the majority of the year. So
nice.
So let's go back a little bit. So you started golfing when you were younger. Obviously, your dad and your grandpa played. When did you realize you were like, okay, I can do this at the collegiate level. I can do this professionally. Did it sort of naturally click with you, or was it something you had to really work on to get good at it?
Right. I definitely had to work at it. But the crazy thing was, I think in high school, actually, so I don't know if this is allowed in any other states, but in Kentucky, you can try out for high school teams as a middle schooler. So my coach, my former high school coach, we used to go to the same church, and I'm just this little skinny, like 13-year-old seventh grader. And he's like, hey, why don't you come try out for the high school team? And I was like, what? Like, I never played on a golf team before. I just played casually with my dad and grandparents. And my dad was like, yeah, you should do it. Why not? So he encouraged me. We went out and played, and I tried to really work at it and everything. And I made the team. And my coach there was awesome, Kevin Mims. He really did a lot for us girls. I went to Henry Clay High School in Lexington, so I don't know if anybody listening knows where that is, but go Blue Devils. So,
God, I wish.
Yeah. So it was a great experience, and I think he pushed me to practice harder. My dad pushed me to practice harder, and I just kept getting better and better. I made varsity, and then by my senior year, I was like basically leading the team, a team captain, and that kind of motivated me as well. Like, I'm leading a bunch of younger girls too, so I got to set a good example. And golf is, I don't know if you guys play or not. Do you guys play?
Yeah,
we golf.
You dabble.
Obviously, wish we could do a little bit better. My clubs have been sitting in my closet collecting dust for the past year. I mean, a lot of it's because of what's been happening.
I gotta get back out there.
Yeah, no, I really do. I mean, I played in high school, but I mostly played just for the free shirts and free golf, everything. I mean, we got to play.
Nothing wrong with that.
we got to play some of the nicest courses. I'm from Pittsburgh, so we got to play some of the nicest courses in the area around the city, and it was free golf, free shirts, free a lot of different stuff. And I was good enough to the point where I could make the team, but at the same time, I wasn't. I didn't have that pressure to succeed and do well. We had folks on our team that went to go play at the collegiate level and be really successful. With the colleges they went to. But for me, it was just more of a leisure thing. And for Brad, it's the same, I assume.
Yeah. I love going out. My dad taught me we lived not necessarily like a country club, but it was a kind of that environment. So when I was little, you just go out and play with my dad. Then my brother started playing too. So it was like like a boys thing that the kids and my dad would do. So that's how I got into it. And then played in high school. And I try to go out when I can now. I need to go out more. Like you said, I got to get back out there, knock off the rust. So it's not so bad every time I pick up the clubs.
Right. Oh, so you both know basically like golf is very frustrating, but it's always a one shot that keeps you coming back every time, basically. So, I mean, like, I think that kind of just hit hard with me. And as I started getting better and everything, and I wanted to keep improving. And, junior year of high school, you start looking at colleges and everything. And my dad was like, you should look at playing for a college. Like, you could get a lot of money from it or whatever. And I was like, yeah. And so I got really motivated by that and just worked really hard. And I don't like to slack on anything. Like I'll put my nose to the grind. So I sure did. And I earned my scholarship and everything. And from there, it was kind of addictive, I guess. And I just kept getting better and better the more I worked at it. And even the more I worked in the gym and on my mental game as well, it like all came together, I guess. But I just feel like I'm not one of those girls that just started playing competitively at like 5 years old like they are these days. But I was pretty well rounded growing up, and I played sports all my life. So I know the whole, practice makes perfect mentality and everything. So I think that kind of helps as well too. But I just feel like I'm not one of those girls that's plateaued already. I feel like I still, even now, have a lot to improve on. So, and I feel like I have a lot of potential in front of me. So I felt like that was ahead of me the whole time I was in high school trying to get better, and college trying to get better, and even now too. So, and I'm sure it's going to be like that for the rest of my life, because you know what? Golf sucks sometimes and it's never perfect. So you can't ever perfect golf. So
I mean, you're what, 25 now?
Yeah, 25.
Okay, that was a good guess on my part then. So you got a whole lifetime to go then. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the greatest thing about golf. It's a life sport. You could do it for the longest time, and you're really just getting started, especially being out in Arizona now. Seems like you set yourself up pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny you say that, because I sometimes I feel like I'm older, because girls these days, it's just like they keep getting younger and younger, and you're like, where did you come from? They're like 12 years old, like already shooting like 5 under or whatever. It's crazy. But I think I saw a stat one time, and it said something like female golfers don't really hit their peak until they're like 27, 28 years old. So at least, I mean, I believed it. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna stick to that one. Hopefully it holds true.
How's that compared to the guys' age for when they peak for golf, do you think?
I have no idea. I mean, the guys, it's just a whole nother world. Like our golfer world keeps getting more and more competitive, but they're on just another level. Like there's so much talent, like just hanging out in these mini tours, Monday qualifiers, and it's like all they have to do is get one breakthrough, but there's so many of them. It's like crazy to think about, but it's kind of getting that way for women's golf as well now too.
Yeah, it's definitely exploded. I mean, my question, when you were growing up, because I know who was big, Annika Sorenstam on the women's side was very big when I was growing up, and that kind of coincided with Tiger and Phil. But did you pay more attention when you were watching to Tiger or the men's side, or were you always into female golf?
Oh no, I to this day, like I still, it's kind of sad to say, but I'll explain. So I totally like prefer watching the guys play. I just think they're more aggressive. I just think there's a little more personality there to watch too. But I just grew up watching, the guys play, and Tiger obviously, and I don't know, that's who I prefer watching. And I feel like every one of their styles is so different. It's good to watch each and every player and see what he does, what his style is. On the LPGA, I can tell you there's one thing that's really in common, and it's tempo. It's smooth tempo on their swing. That's the one thing everyone takes away from the LPGA. Wow, their swing is so smooth. It's like, it's great, but at the same time, like personally, when I go play with guys, even I feel like I play better because they're always wanting to bet money or something, and you want to hang with the boys. So I've always been in that mindset. But lately, I mean, even the LPGA, like it just feels like slowly getting better at, showing these girls off and showing what they can do. So it seems like it's getting better, but I think there's a lot more to be done in terms of showcasing them and their talents and their personalities off.
So speaking of style, what is your approach to the sport? Are you someone, so I don't know, it's a little bit different probably for women's golf or ladies golf. Do you try to go long? Do you emphasize your short game? Do you rely more on putting? How do you manage your rounds when you're playing in those, in those tournaments?
Right. So I'm not the longest player in the world off the tee necessarily. I'd say my irons are pretty, standard distance. I can hit my irons for sure, but off the tee, it's not like I bomb at 280. I probably average like 240, 245 at the most. But my whole thing is I hardly ever miss fairways. I probably average like 13 or 14 fairways, or 12, 13, 14 fairways around. Usually I'm pretty straight off the tee. That's my strength. I wish I could tell you my secret, but that's just how I've always been. So usually I'll be 100% safe in a good position off the tee in the fairway. And then the other thing I really try to emphasize is short game, because that's your bread and butter especially when you're on tour. You got to be able to save your par, but you also got to be able to, knock some putts in and make a lot of birdies. So that's what I emphasize.
Yeah, that's definitely how you save a round, I feel like, because, you can be as long off the tee, but if you're not accurate with the irons and can't putt, then, you're just as good as the rest of them out there.
Yeah, and there's some days where it's like, okay, maybe I do miss a couple fairways, or maybe I do, miss hit iron shots and I can't hit a green that day. But you know what? If I'm able to like get up and down, at the end of the day, I'll look at my score. I'm like, why do I feel like I hit the ball like worse than I thought? And then I'm looking at my short game and putts, and I'm like, oh, that's where I saved myself. So,
would you say short game is the strongest part of your game?
Yeah, I would say that. I'm pretty good. I don't have any, a lot of people have a lot of fears when they get up to a bunker. I've like no problem just splashing it out. And I feel like that's even growing up, like my high school coach instilled in me. My college coach was big on short game. And I just feel like I've always had a good feel for chipping, putting, and pitching in general. So,
do you have any tricks or tips that you could give Johnston and myself, or even the viewers out there is like, hey, I want to get better too?
Yeah, let's get your quick tips.
Well, number one, I think consistency is key, because it's like golf is not like basketball or soccer or football. You can play it once a year with buddies, and it's easy to get that muscle memory back. Golf, it's just so detailed. If you're off by like half a degree with any aspect of your swing, it's going to show, right? So I would say consistency is the key. Even if it's like once a week, just get out and practice and work on stuff. And then number two, I think the thing even that helps me a lot is tempo. It's funny when you try to kill the ball and you try to crush it and rip at it like Bryson DeChambeau or whatever. It just tends to go every direction, right? But when you have that nice, even tempo, nice little pause at the top of your swing, and just, swing on through fast but smooth. I'm not trying to, just send a rocket ball out there, but it's just crazy. The tempo part of it will just make all the difference in the world. So that's what I tell my buddies, at least, that want advice, or like are always like, hey, can you help me out? I'm hitting this big old place. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Unless you're playing for money, then you tell them the opposite, and so you can take.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Lined up this way a little bit more.
Yeah.
All
right, I got two questions just real quick about Topgolf. Have you ever gone to Topgolf and hustled someone? Yeah. Okay, tell us about that.
Topgolf and did what with someone?
Like hustle someone. Be like, I don't know how to hit the ball. Or have you gone with a group of friends and tried to tone it down a bit to not show up all the guys?
Yes, I can't think of specific situations, but like I just like to mess with people sometimes. So like there's definitely been like times where either we go to Topgolf or we go to like a local driving range and my friends bring someone and I just start hitting and they're like, whoa, you're like really good. And I might not at the time, might be like, I'm hitting it like shit right now, but I'm like, oh yeah, like I do this and this, and they're like, whoa. And I'm like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but to me at least. But I'm trying to, so my company I work for, Backswing. So when we go to these events and show up, these guys, it's mostly guys, right, at these company outings and whatever. So these guys that pull up to the golf hole and they see the Beat the Pro contest or a sign, or I start talking to them and they're like, oh, okay, like, yeah, like she says she's pro or whatever. I mean, because how often do you come across like a good female golfer, amateur or professional in your life, right? So they might seem a little skeptical or whatever. And then it's just funny because I'll just whip out my club and just start hitting, and it might not even be a good shot to me, but they're just like so amazed that a girl is actually like swinging a golf club in general. They're like, oh my gosh, here's my money, take my donation. So
I was fortunate in high school to be close friends with two girls who were multi-sport athletes, and they were just naturally good at golf. So, to have a women's golf team in high school, it really took they had to find people that were athletic enough, and then they could put them on the team. You know what I mean? Right.
Right.
But they embarrassed me every time we played together. So
that's okay. It happens.
I have nothing but admiration from them. All right, we're going to hit you with just a few quick questions about golf, and then we'll move into some non-related golf hypotheticals. So the first one is, what's your favorite golf major?
Oh, it's got to be the Masters. Not to be like that basic, I mean, I feel like everyone loves the Masters, but just the history around it. And I've never been personally, so that's like one of my main goals to go and hopefully take my dad and my grandpa one day. I think that'd be really cool. But there's just so much history around it. And I mean, the fact that it's able to stay so consistent throughout the years, through all the change and everything, like you can still get a pimento cheese sandwich for $1.50 at the Masters, which I think
it's truly
cool.
Amazing. Not that I've ever been, but that's like the iconic sporting event that you want to go to over anything else, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your
wait to see it with all like the leaves changing and everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for it to come up. So what's your favorite club to hit?
Mm-hmm. My favorite club? Geez. I don't know. I want to say my putter because there's just no better feeling
that was my
than
answer
just draining a putt. Yeah. I mean, there's just no better feeling than draining a putt, and when your putter's not working, it's a bad day. Like when you're three putting or missing 5-footers, it's very frustrating. So sometimes he's in timeout, but it's okay. I think he's my favorite for the most part.
There's nothing worse on like a par 4. You get on the green, you're on in 3, you're 5-10 feet away or whatever, and then you just somehow end up 3-putting. Now I'm sure it doesn't happen to you, but for me that's happened more
I was
often
about to say 5-10 feet. I hope I don't ever 3-putt.
I was gonna say my putter's in timeout a lot because he's not performed too well for me very often.
Happens. Just gotta talk to him a little bit, put him timeout for a bit.
I do.
Settle him down. So what's your favorite sport besides golf?
Oh gosh. Honestly, it's a toss up because I did grow up playing basketball, and I think basketball will always be a love of mine. And I tore my ACL in high school playing it, and after that, I was like, maybe I should just stick to golf and not get injured. But I will always love basketball. Like this summer when Michael Jordan's documentary was on TV, and I was just so hyped about it. And Kobe Bryant was one of my favorites growing up too, and I was just devastated. I still am. I still think about it. Like, when you take a piece of trash and throw it in the trash can and yell Kobe, it's like, oh god. But so I'd say basketball for sure, and I think I miss playing basketball more than anything. But I do love my football. I love college football. I love watching NFL football. I'll get into a pick 'em league with my buddies, and like I mean just sports in general. But those are, other than golf, those are my 2 top sports. So
yeah, those are my favorite too. I love those sports. Golf's like fun to go out and play with your friends or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like playing those sports too, you know?
Oh yeah. And just even watching it on TV, like I totally understand how people think golf is boring on TV. I totally get that. Like it's boring for me sometimes to watch too. I'm like, geez, let's hurry this up here. But no, I do. I mean, I just love sports in general. So I those are my top two for sure. But
Yeah, I still can't understand people that think. I mean, I do understand how golf can be boring, but it's just the perfect thing on a Sunday to throw on the TV, take a nap, just hang out. You could chime in when you want to. Wait, so
exactly.
Growing up in Kentucky, who was your NFL and NBA teams?
My options are a little bit limited in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, because Lexington's like in the middle of the state, right?
Yeah. So it's Central Kentucky. So the closest team is the Bengals. But that's kind of if you're a Bengals fan, it's a little rough sometimes. Or not just sometimes, a lot of the time. But the other team, I guess, is closest would be the Titans. Then after that, it's the Cleveland Browns. So really, really good group there. No, but I'll follow the Bengals, and really, like, I love following just the league in general, different players in general, and being out in Arizona. I don't know, maybe it's just because a lot of my friends are Arizona Cardinals friends. Like I started watching them a lot more too. But I don't care who it is. I'm always down to watch a good football game, and I'd say the Bengals probably would be my closest one. And I'm excited. Joe Burrow is now their starting quarterback, so hopefully they'll pick it up from here. But as far as the NBA teams go, again, I'm more gravitate towards the players on the team, like Kobe Bryant.
I feel like that's pretty popular for the NBA. It seems like there's more fans of players rather than teams.
Right. But right now, I think I'm rooting for the Heat in the finals, though. I like LeBron. I have nothing against LeBron, but I think like a little upset would be kind of cool too. Tyler Hero played for UK as well, so.
I was gonna say you're probably more of a college basketball girl than
but okay.
Professional.
Here's the funny thing here is that my family and I we'll follow UK sports, but we're not necessarily the diehard Big Blue fans. So my mom my mom's side of the family is all Ohio State fans. My grandpa was in the marching band Ohio State. And then my other side of the family, get ready. My other side of the family is my dad went to Michigan State. My grandparents went to Michigan State, and then my grandpa actually played football at Michigan State and got a ring there. So it's like Ohio State versus Michigan State, and we always joke around and we're like, well, thank God none of us are Michigan Wolverine fans.
Yeah.
So
it could be worse.
Yeah.
Brad and I both went to Penn State, so at least we can all agree the Michigan sucks.
Okay, yeah, Big Ten, yeah, heck yeah. I'm so glad that their season's back on too. Yeah.
Oh,
awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure your family's happy. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. I'm like, we need something to watch.
All right, last one before we get into the hypotheticals. What's your favorite course you've ever played, and what's the best course you've ever played?
My favorite course. That's a tough one. Oh my gosh. I don't know. There's so many different styles of courses. I don't think I could ever have a favorite. The best course I ever played was Valhalla in Louisville. And my dad was able, one of his buddies hooked him up and we went to go play that, which is really special to play with my dad too. And we actually played it, I think it was less than a month before the PGA Championship in 2014. So we went back and watched it. It was just cool because, playing it, it's fresh in our minds. It's like, oh, yep, I hit it left on this hole right here. And of course, you're watching the pro and he sticks it next to the hole. So that was just kind of fun to experience and everything. I don't know. Any day on the golf course is a good day for me. I'm really not picky. I don't care if it's a goat track or whatever. As long as I'm out there and having fun, I could care less. But I've been fortunate to play some good golf courses. I played Southern Highlands up in Vegas as well. I worked at TPC for the last 2 years as a part-time job, TPC Scottsdale.
Oh wow.
Where the waste management is. Yeah. So I got to play that a lot, which is really cool. And currently I'm working at True North Golf Club here in Scottsdale as well. And I'm fortunate enough to get to be able to play that all the time too as an employee. So I can't say I have a favorite. Maybe if one day, like by a miracle, I'll get to play Augusta, maybe. But other than that, if I'm on a golf course, I'm happy. So
if I got the offer to play Augusta, I would have to turn it down. I just couldn't do that to the courts.
You couldn't massacre the course.
I couldn't embarrass it. I couldn't put all that pressure just to have me out there. Yeah. All right, let's get into some answer the internet questions. Brad, do you have one, or you want?
I do. Now, I'm asking this on the premise that I don't know if you have one or not. So, Allie, if you do, you can share it to the world here. But if you had to get a lip tattoo, what would it say?
Oh man, that's funny because I don't have any tattoos, but I always joke around with my friends all the time. If I was ever to get one, to be a lip tattoo.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, it would probably be something. Oh, there's a million that are coming to my head right now, but it would probably be something stupid like send it, like something like just totally just.
That's actually kind of be good for a golfer, though, right?
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but just in life in general, just send it.
I never thought about that, bro. And you bring up like you guys bring up a good point. Like, if you're gonna get a tattoo, that seems like the best place to get it, but it's also like the most ridiculous.
I've also heard like not permanent, but then I've also heard it's like it can be permanent. Like it's just a toss up. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. My mother would kill me regardless, but.
Like, hey, Mom, check this out.
Yeah, Mom, look, send it.
Yeah.
All right. If you found out your life was the Truman Show, have you seen the Truman Show?
I've bits and pieces. I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing. Is it like? Okay. It's not. That's Groundhog Day, where he's like living the same day over and over.
Yeah, with Bill Murray. This was with Jim Carrey. Basically, his life is just a TV set, and like all the people in his life are actors. But the question is, and that's just the premise. But what would you be most proud about that people saw of you, and then what would you be most embarrassed about? So it doesn't have to be about golf. It could just be your day-to-day life.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Most proud of. I think like my work ethic, like I will go get my stuff done. I'm very disciplined about, work out, golf, do all this, get what I need to do done, work hard. I think that would be what I'd be most proud of, I guess. I'm trying to think. There's a lot.
Let's get to the good part about what you're embarrassed about.
I feel like I'm so clumsy. Like I know like I'm an athlete technically, but like I feel like I'm so clumsy. Like I will literally just like stub my toe, or I'll just like trip over my own feet sometimes. Like it's really bad. I'm trying to think of the last like clumsy thing I did. I don't know. Maybe also the fact that I have a pillow pet that I still sleep with. It's a Michigan State pillow pet that I got from my family. I'm 25. It's like a comfort thing for my back, right? That's what it's for.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, whatever you need to justify, right?
Exactly, right.
All right, Allie. Thank you again so much for coming on. Where can the people check you out, follow you on social media, all that good stuff?
Sure. So Twitter, it's just my name. It's at Allie Leigeb, 2 L's and Leigeb. And don't worry about pronouncing it right anymore. But it's also that's the same username for my Instagram as well, at Allie Leigeb. And I'm always posting, different golf courses I'm playing, what I'm doing, any tournaments I'm playing in. So yeah, feel free to hop on and follow me. And I appreciate you guys for having me on. This was a really fun podcast to do. You guys are really fun and easy to talk to. So
thanks. Have you ever been on a podcast before?
Like one other one this summer was a local Kentucky sports podcast, but I think I listen to enough podcasts. I know how they go. Like I'm
right.
Too, but yeah.
Awesome, Allie. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Go follow her on Instagram and Twitter. And good luck with anything you got coming up, golf related. And hopefully we'll see you back out on the course soon at some point.
Thanks. And you guys too, get back on the course soon too.
We'll come out to Arizona, we'll play.
Yeah, heck yeah. You're always welcome. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome plan. All right, Allie, thanks again.
Alrighty, thanks guys.
I swear to God I wasn't born to fight. Maybe just a little bit, enough to make me sick of it. But I